So this is going to be a taboo topic, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about it because I've been wanting to talk about this for like months now. When we hear men talk about their demons and the demons that they're fighting, I don't think a lot of women really stop to think about what those demons are. And I'm here to help shed some light on just a few of what I would consider to be the top demons that most men fight. Okay. Number one, top of the list, their sexuality. Most men, and I honestly believe it's over half of them, are fighting their sexuality. Many of them wish that they can just come out of the closet or whatever and just be themselves, but they feel like they're going to be judged by women. But I think they mostly care about the opinions of men. But it's also confusing because it's like, chances are your homie wants to S your D as well. So it's like, what's the problem? Now, don't get me wrong. I already know that a lot of men are already doing this behind their wives' back and their girlfriends' back, and they got kids and stuff. And that's why they spend so much time with Jeremy, right? Or Kyle or Randy, right? You know what I mean? We know, some of us know why y'all prefer to spend more time with your homies than your wife or your girlfriend, right? But it's weird because it's like, just come out. Like, it's 2024, no one cares. But they don't want to be seen as weak or conquered or whatever, right? Many of them just want to bend their friend over, or they want to be the one doing the bending, or you know what I mean? So they really do. And I'm not trying to make fun of them. I'm just saying that that's, in my opinion, the number one demon that most men fight is their sexuality. The second is their sexual attraction to children. Now, a lot of men will come out and tell you that if they were to lower the age of consent to like 10, many of them will be like, well, it's the law, right? But then you have a subset, another group of men who feel that way deep down, but they'll never admit it because they don't want to be seen as a pedophile, right? So they're fighting that. There are women right now, a lot of y'all are laid up with a man who literally goes into the bedroom or the bathroom and whacks off to your 13-year-old daughter, and you think it's about you, and it's not. He's looking at her. He's just caught her coming out the bathroom and she has boobs now, or she's growing into filling out, or whatever, as I used to say when I was growing up, and he's attracted to her and is fighting every urge in his body to not look at her like that. He's trying to look at her as a stepdaughter or as a daughter, because sometimes it's their actual blood daughter, right? He's fighting those urges. And when he's laid up with you, he's pretending that you are your 13, 16-year-old daughter. Let's be real. Okay? Another demon that a lot of these guys fight is not feeling like they're enough in society. So they have SI, so suicidal ideation. They're thinking about death all the time because they don't feel like they're good enough. They're not making enough money. They don't get the women that they want. They just don't feel good enough for whatever reason. So they're fighting those demons. And then another demon, I would say, that they're fighting is like the demon to be violent. Now, we know a lot of guys don't care about being violent. They're just violent anyways. But there are certain guys that hold back when really they just want to go burn some shit down, or they want to R women and children. Sometimes they want to R their homies, right? They might be attracted to one of their homies, and the other homie is not rainbow. So it's like, but they fantasize about it, right? They would love to do it. I think it's one of the reasons why they're so like obsessed with like violent video games and the games that, you know, have a lot of pew pews and running people over in their cars and running things over. They're just obsessed with destruction. You know what I mean? And they fight the urge to want to just beat somebody up, or to just, you know, go somewhere and just like pew pew up a building. There's a lot of men who have done that for real. They just go through with it, but many men fantasize about that. So those are just a few. A lot of guys have admitted this to me. Some of them come on social media and admit it. There's a lot of them that will never admit this. So understand, when a man is talking about, I'm fighting demons every day, just understand that it is one of those four, or it's all of the four. And there's other ones too, because I'm not in a man's mind, but those things I know for absolute certain. Because I pay attention to people's actions. I pay attention to their words. I pay attention to the things that they say they will get away with. If they could get away with it, they would do it. I pay attention to all that. And to me, it's putting two and two together. It's reading between the lines for me. So be very aware of the demons that these men are fighting and move accordingly in your lives, because a lot of times the way these men treat you is not about you at all. It's about the demons that they're fighting on the inside. It has everything to do with them. Steer clear and be safe out there. We really need to have a conversation about how women have been gaslit out of trusting our gut intuition, our women's intuition. We've been gaslit by society. Sometimes it's our own parents, siblings, friends, other family members, just people in society. Sorry about the noise in the background. Oh my goodness. As soon as I start a video, it's been quiet this whole time. But anyways, we've been gaslit by people so much that we start to gaslight ourselves. There's something about that man. He was actually very nice to me. He didn't do anything to me, but something about him gives me the creeps. Maybe I'm tripping. Next thing you know, you go on a date with him and he tries to essay you. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, something told me to do this or to not do that, right? That is your intuition. That's your gut intuition, your female or women's intuition. And we have been so gaslit out of it without even realizing it, that now we don't recognize it. We can't tell now if it's our intuition or if it's paranoia. But one of the things that I would suggest to women, and I'm always going to be of the school of thought, that the first step to learning yourself is to be single for a while. I'm not telling y'all to be single forever, right? But I would say be single for at least 2 years or more. Because 1 year, you know, it may take you a little while to get the hang of just being single and actually enjoying it. So that's why I say like 2 years or more. Spend time getting to know yourself, your likes, your dislikes, paying attention, reading books, taking solo trips, whatever you got to do to get to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, all of that. I like to meditate, and meditation can be kind of hard, or I don't want to say hard. It can be very challenging at first because you feel like you don't know what you're doing. I meditate for two purposes. One is when I'm seeking an answer and I want the universe to send me the answer. Sometimes, you know how you could be sitting in a car, or you could be at home washing dishes, or you could be in the shower and an idea just pop into your mind. The answer that you've been thinking of, oh, maybe it was this. This is a good idea. That's your intuition. That is, I don't want to call it spiritual, but there's something out there that is trying to speak to you. We want to get back to that point, right? The other reason why I meditate is when I want to quiet my mind. So that's the one that I think is the most important, because when you learn to quiet your mind, you push all of the riffraff out, people's judgments, your insecurities, your self-doubt, the ways in which men, you know, and other women judge you, right? And all that stuff. You push all of that crap out, your worries, your anxiety, and you make room for new, better, and positive thoughts to come in, and ideas. And if you're not single and you know you have kids and you have a husband and all that, and you don't really have a lot of time to yourself, 10 or 15 minutes a day. Maybe it's when you in your car. We always joke about when you come home, you sit in the car for 10 or 20 minutes or whatever, because that's self-care. Perfect time, right? Go in the bathroom and take a shower. You know, 10 or 15 minutes at the least every day to just quiet your mind. And it's difficult at first, because every time you think about quieting your mind, you start thinking of a whole bunch of stuff, and you're like, okay, this isn't working. I promise you, if you keep trying this, it's going to work. Eventually, it will. Some people will get it right away. Sometimes it's going to take people weeks or months, but you will get it. You have to keep at it. To me, that is the number one way. That meditation is how you get back to yourself, and you get back to learning how to hear your intuition when it's speaking to you the first time, and how not to ignore it. Now, I am not an expert at this. There are many books, there are seminars, there are people's meditation channels on YouTube and all that y'all can refer to. But I promise you, this is, from my perspective, the number one way to get back to trusting our instincts. You have to spend time with yourself. Because when you're around family all the time, when you got the kids and you got this over here, you got to go to work, you got all these errands, what time do you have to clear your mind? You don't. You have to find that time. This is very much an intentional thing that you have to work towards. But women ignore our intuition and we pass it off as tripping. Or pass it off as being overly paranoid, right? And really, your gut is telling you something isn't right, or something is wrong, or something needs to be this way, or you probably shouldn't go running in the park by yourself at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When we start getting these thoughts, we need to, it's better to be safe than sorry. We need to start listening to these thoughts. It's better to just go. It's been times when I have gotten up, decided to go for a walk in the park, or run around a trail or whatever, and I would get there and I would have this overwhelming feeling of, I just don't feel safe. You know what I do? I turn my ass right back around, get back in my car and drive away. Try again tomorrow. Try again next week. You know what I mean? And maybe sometimes we do be tripping. Maybe we are paranoid. But it's better to be safe than sorry, isn't it? And I'm not saying live your life in paranoia. What I'm saying is learn to trust your gut instinct. And one of the best ways to do that is to quiet your mind, spend time with yourself, and get to know yourself. Pay attention to what's going on out here in the world as well. Y'all can't be blind to this stuff. Y'all can't be like, oh, I don't be on social media, I don't know what's going on. That's so stupid to not know what's going on in the world. How can you protect yourself? How can you be prepared for things if you don't know what's going on? And I'm not saying you need to be a social media head, but you have to understand that the world is social media. Like, everything is going to be on social, you know what I mean? So you have to, like, learn how to compartmentalize this stuff. But the whole goal is to be aware and to keep yourself safe. Now, I didn't want this video to be this long, but look into what I'm saying. Get some books. Go to some classes. Whatever you got to do. But just start with yourself. Where you're sitting down in a room, in your car, in the shower, whatever, and start to really meditate. I promise you, you will get back to learning how to trust your woman's intuition. Because we got to keep ourselves safe out here. Leave your comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.